It's David Byrd-Marrow, I think in Denver, playing Timo Andres' piece, House Calls.
Hey, Timo, welcome.
Hi.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. You can hear me fine?
Yeah, we hear you great.
Yes.
All right.
But Timo, you are in Brooklyn?
I'm in Brooklyn as usual. Nothing changed since we last saw each other.
Yeah. That was very, very beautiful. It's so interesting, this time period of solos, well, or mostly solos, I guess, because of the, Zoom and possibility of ensemble work. But just to hear a solo horn like that, ring out and sound so lush. And thank you. Yeah.
It's an absolutely incredible sound, isn't it? I mean, it's like the sound is almost enough. You hardly need to write a piece even.
Well, that's a trick too, is to not write too much. I mean, just to let the horn just be its incredible self.
Yeah.
Well, also it's so funny because I'm used to all of these intricate piano things that you do and intricate orchestra things, and I think of you as somebody who does something that is kind of impressively full, and this was so beautifully stark. It was really so true to the nature of the instrument, which is so powerful.
Well, and this may sound familiar to you in a way, but the idea of just having these little modules to work from that each lead in a particular direction and sort of building on that, and that becomes the piece. It's a very kind of, again, I would say a bang on a canish sort of procedure. But it's something I've always admired. I think particularly about your music, David, is that this idea that something can be a melody, but it can also be a sort of pattern driver,
Mm-hmm.
and a kind of developmental driver of a piece in and of itself, and that's really what this piece is in a small way.
That's because I don't know how to write a real melody.
Well, I mean, I've whistled some of them in the shower,
We just got word that David Byrd-Marrow is not going to be joining us.
Oh,
so I just want to actually say, since we just got that notice, that he did an amazing job doing this piece. So.
It was incredible, and it's not an easy piece. It has in what was that, 2 or 3 minutes? It spans pretty much the entire range of the horn. And there are a lot of just very unpredictable harmonic and melodic twists that, I can only imagine are an absolute pain in the ass to execute as well as he did. So, and it was beautifully filmed and recorded as well, and his pants were amazing.
That's the most important thing for any horn.
You can costume yourself and set your stage and everything in this pandemic.
And that's not in the score, though, is it?
The pants, the higher the waist, the closer to God.
I mean, I don't know if you've all had this. Oh, go ahead, Michael. Do you want to say something?
No. I'm just saying, Timo, I want to just plug your Instagram account because you've got you're putting out concerts regularly, and you must have like a film set up. I mean, you must have some cameras in your.
I do. I mean, I have. Well, I only film myself from the waist up, which is, I think, why the pants struck me. But I do actually. The real action, I should say, takes place on YouTube, because usually in my Instagram I just sort of do little excerpts or plug things that I'm doing on YouTube. I just did a film of Julie's big piece, My Lips from Speaking, which just premiered last week. So go check that out.
A couple of days ago, right? Just a couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, but it was sort of the last month and a half or so's project. So it was a pleasure. It was a very, a very stamina draining pleasure to record that.
But I think the cool thing that you're doing, I mean, with that piece, you took a 6 piano piece and did the 2 piano version, and so beautifully and so illuminated. But I think what Michael's also probably referring to is you have this great way of doing multiple angles, and you're looking down and you're looking to the side and you're looking inside. It just
Yeah.
it really is I don't know. It's like, maybe connected to this moment we're in, that everyone's getting creative in these, I think, relatively
Well,
new ways. Not that people haven't filmed performers before and shot their hands,
mhm.
but the way you're working it, it's like balletic. There's a kind of dance to the camera angles that
I appreciate that. I mean, I do think it's something that I've really enjoyed over the past year, actually. That's sort of, dare I say, a silver lining, is to discover this sort of new medium. And I had never made a video before a year ago. I just it was something that became a little bit of an obsession, I would say, and has certainly taken over my entire living room. But I think the idea that's new is maybe for the performer and the recording engineer and the video editor all to be the same person, which is not usually the case. And so that allows me to do things like say, I really know what's happening from a deep musical level in this passage, and therefore I'm going to film it like this and edit it like this, and
That's
light
really
it in a certain way. So it becomes a kind of each level of the production adds to the meaning of the music, hopefully.
absolutely. I hope it's a new trend in filming performance.
Well, it's what I think we would hope will happen, which is that we will be changed after this year of working virtually in ways which, kind of add to our skills and also change what we expect. I think one of the things that Julie's pointing out is that those things really seem like all the levels are working together in a way which we're not, necessarily used to. And once we can have it, we never want to not have it.
I think for classical music specifically, we're so kind of willing to just say the music speaks for itself, put it on a stage, have the performer be as self-effacing as possible, have the performer basically disappear, and just have them be the conduit for this, pure work of genius.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah. Because that's the whole classical music model, which is that the players are just the vessels through which, pours the genius of men who lived in Vienna 200 years ago, and we don't want to actually make it clear that, there's any intermediate. We want to get as close to the original as we can.
Exactly. And the piece that David just played, there's barely any piece there. That performance was almost entirely David, I should say. His playing absolutely makes that into a little moment. And I think that has to do with, everything about how it was filmed and how he was dressed and how the acoustic was. And, you have to think about all these elements of the performance.
And for anyone who's listening, I don't know, some of you are insider music buffs and know everything, but I've always heard that the French horn, like you say, I'm studying French horn, I'm playing French horn, because, oh, that's the hardest instrument. Every instrument has its challenges, but I always hear the French horn for some reason. I don't know why physically it is, but so that he did that so smoothly and but without glitch. You always expect maybe there's going to be a little moment when the horns come in, not obviously on the highest level, but it's just this instrument that has this reputation. And well, he broke it. It sounded.
I have heard that too. That the French horn is kind of the most difficult instrument, or at least the instrument that you have to practice it so regularly. Otherwise, it's for every day you don't practice, you lose 2 days of practicing. I absolutely believe it. It sounds hard to me. To hear a really great horn player sort of transcend that and sound truly effortless is, it's one of the more amazing sounds, I think, in our sort of orchestral world. And I would compare it to watching, it's just it's like watching a champion snowboarder or something. It's just like seeing someone do something and saying like, I could not do that.
I played French horn in high school.
I thought you played
And,
trombone.
I was a trombone player, but I broke my arm one year playing volleyball.
Oh, so
So-
no slide.
So I couldn't use my right hand, and the thing about French horn is you play it left-handed. So I switched to French horn for a whole year, and I can tell you, it is the most terrifying experience to have a bunch of rests in an orchestra and know here is my entrance, and you know something, I know I'm going to mess it up. I know there's no way I'm not going to mess that up. It's the most terrifying thing because the mouthpiece is really tiny and the distance of the overtones is really small, that the harmonics that you're playing, and so it's actually very, very difficult to hit the right pitch, which of course I never did.
And of course, when you're studying conducting, they always say like, you know, there's a special way you have to cue the horns to like not make them nervous, or to like to just like bring them in very gently and confidently, and that can actually make a difference with how that entrance goes.
Timo, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks to David, and yeah, thanks everyone who's
Thanks to
listening.
David. Yeah.
And let's thank Raulee Marcus and Stephen Block, our friends in LA, who
Thanks, Raulee and Stephen.
a barbarous piece and a whole bunch of pieces on these virtual live stream marathons.
Thank you so much.
Having. Thanks, Raulee, and thanks, Stephen. Thanks so much, Timo. That was great.
Great to talk. Great to see you.
See you.
Bye, guys.